So you're out at a bar, you're out at a club or a house party, and you see a girl you really want to talk to. How should you go about approaching her? And most importantly, what are some of the big mistakes guys make that instantly turn women off, and how can you avoid them? That's what I want to talk to you about today. Oh, and you may want to stick through to the end, because there I'm going to tell you the secret strategy that I use and give to each and every one of my clients that makes a massive difference in how powerful and dominant and confident they look before they've even said their first words. So I want to do something that might at first sound a little bit unusual. I want to compare women to oranges, okay? And I want to think about picking up a woman in a club to picking up an orange at the grocery store. Because, in fact, we tend to overcomplicate this idea of approaching women. And a lot of the mistakes guys make when approaching women at nighttime is because they're not thinking about women in the same way they should be thinking about oranges. What does this all mean, Damien? How's a woman like an orange? It sounds like a line up to a shitty joke. All right, let's picture it this way. All right, I want to separate the approach into kind of three parts. Okay, that is part one, when you first notice a woman. Part two, when you actually start walking over to her. And part three, when you stop in front of her. I want to break it down to these three sections for a moment. Okay, so imagine that you are in a bar right now and you see a really cute girl over on the other side of the bar. Okay, you see her and then she looks at you and she sees you looking at her, right? What do you do in that moment? Because I'll tell you what a lot of guys do, right? A lot of guys go, oh crap, she caught me looking at her, and they look the other way, right? Real quick, oh crap. Oh no, I wasn't checking you out, right? That's what a lot of guys do. But let me ask you, would you do that if you were in the grocery store looking for oranges and there's a clerk stacking up new oranges and the clerk looks over and sees you staring at the oranges? Would you think, oh crap, oh, they saw me looking at the oranges, oh. Okay. Here's where we begin with the story and the comparison. Because you wouldn't, at least I hope you wouldn't do that, right? Because as far as you're concerned, it's perfectly reasonable to be looking at the oranges. But there's some part of your brain that says it's not perfectly reasonable for me to be looking at this girl who I think is cute. I don't want her to think I'm cute, but I'm okay with the clerk thinking that I want oranges, okay? This is the beginning of this comparison process. So when a girl catches you looking at her, that is not your cue to look away in shame. Because from that very moment, what you're doing is you're sub-communicating that I'm embarrassed of my attraction to you and I'm going to try to hide that, right? That is not attractive to a woman. Now, on the same token, you don't want to be looking at a girl across the bar and just staring at her, right? Like staring at her like this. That hungry look in your eyes, you're just staring. And not only do you just stare, you just don't do anything else, right? You just keep staring, right? That's not cool either, because that's called creepy. So we don't want to be just standing there staring indefinitely, right? But we do want to hold eye contact as she catches you. And there's something else that you can do which will drastically reduce the creepy factor, and that is smile. You know, if a girl catches you looking at her at all, smile at her in that moment. You'll be amazed how often the girl will smile back. Sometimes she'll look away, either nervously or because she's not interested. It can be one of the two, but let's not go there. But you need to be ready to hold eye contact and smile. Like a real proper smile, not like a half smirk or anything, like a big, like shit-eating grin on your face. Because that's what makes you feel approachable and friendly. See, one of the things that a lot of guys get wrong is when they approach women, especially in a bar, your competition is not that great, but your competition is also quite sleazy. They're drunk, they're on drugs, they're being a little bit over the top, right? And they're being quite aggressive sometimes. And you don't need to be aggressive in a bar. You can be assertive, but not aggressive, right? So having that big smile makes you feel friendly and approachable from the get-go. And I get it. We don't want to always be just friendly because we don't want to be just friends. But from this moment with that approach, you want her to feel comfortable with you coming and talking to her. So right in that moment, in that first 3 seconds, 2 seconds or less, right? Bam, eye contact, really big smile. Makes a huge difference to how she's going to receive you when you go and talk to her. And I get it. Not every woman's going to catch you looking at her. But this is the thing, some will. So from that moment, that's the first thing, that comparison to oranges and girls in a bar, right? You're not going to look at the clerk and have the clerk look at you and look away, right? And you're not going to refuse to smile, and you're not going to feel ashamed of it. And that's really critical. Okay, so now you've spotted the girl you like and you need to approach. And you should be approaching quickly, especially if she spotted you. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a gay bar before, but in a gay bar, and you should, because you'll experience what it's like to be the prey. If you go into a gay bar, you will know who the guys are who are checking you out. You'll just know. You don't have to be staring at them. You'll have this sudden sixth sense of who's around you and who's been looking at you more than once and who's noticed that you exist and who's likely to come and talk to you. You really feel this out, right? And women can feel this all the time too. And you'll be amazed how many times women know that they've been checked out even though you haven't seen them look at you. So you got to assume that she knows you're there. Doesn't always, but often you got to assume it. And so when you first start noticing a woman, you need to start acting quickly. And it's not just because of how she perceives you, it's also because of what goes on in our heads, right? If I see a cute girl and I sit there going, oh, she's cute, I should talk to her. And maybe she's got friends. Maybe she's got a boyfriend. No, what should I say? How could I construct this in my head? And I sit there for a while. This whole process is terrible. This really hurts the energy with which you approach a woman. Women like to feel the energy of, oh, I like you, I'm going to get you. Right? They like to feel that assertive, like self-assured energy. And if you've sat around for a long time thinking about it and deliberating, when you go in, it'll be really hard to have the right energy level, the right assertiveness, because you've already spent so long thinking it through and you'll be stuck in your head then. You want to be in your body when you approach. So just like the oranges, you walk into Coles, into a shopping center, you see the oranges, and then you go, I want oranges, and you go straight for the oranges. You don't sit there and deliberate for a whole long time. Do you? I hope not. If you do, maybe this is the wrong video and you need to see Picking Up Oranges 101. But let's assume you do. You don't do that with oranges, so you walk straight for the girl you like. Now, let's think about the oranges again. When you walk into a shopping center, in a grocery store, and you see the oranges that you want to get, you want to pick up those oranges, what do? Do you go, okay, okay, and then do this really slow kind of death walk towards the oranges, right? That real slow kind of dragging your feet, nervous kind of walk? Or do you go, the oranges, and you walk over and grab them, right? That's the energy with which you need to jump into your approach. Cute girl, right? The oranges, right? You have to do that. I see way too many guys doing the whole, oh God, and they kind of, okay, I'm going to do this, I guess, right? Their feet are almost walking in front of their heads because they're like, afraid to get in there. That's the first thing. You've got to walk with purpose. Women are going to see that. If the girl you're approaching now doesn't see it, other women you may approach later are going to see it, right? And it's not a good look. So you walk up to her. Think about it, how would I approach someone I know as well, right? Oh, that's Lucy. There's no apprehension. We just walk towards her. So you're going to walk with that energy. The next thing is, next thing. You don't walk up to oranges, right? And actually walk past the oranges and then turn around over your head and go, oh, I just noticed the oranges, right? And pretend that you just noticed them, right? You don't do that with oranges. Again, I hope, right? You don't walk to the apples and then go, oh, there are oranges here. Because I notice a lot of guys do that in a bar too. They like to pretend like they're just walking past her. They haven't noticed her. And then all of a sudden they notice her out of the corner of their eye and they turn around and they do this kind of weird J-turn. Don't do that. Again, most of the time she knows you're coming towards her. And if you do that act, she'll probably let you get away with it. But again, think about what message you're sending subconsciously to the woman when you do this kind of crap, this mind game, this stuff that we get stuck with the baggage in our head, right? If you see the oranges that you want, you walk straight for them. You don't walk past them. You don't walk around them. You walk straight for them, right? And you don't do a weird J-turn at the last second. You walk directly to them. And the other thing is you look at them when you're walking towards them. Because again, you're in the shopping center, you're in the grocery store. Is this feeling old yet? You see the oranges, you walk towards them. You don't look in the opposite direction while you're walking towards them. And yet, so often when I'm working with guys and they haven't been trained by me yet, and I see them approaching a girl, what they're doing is they walk towards her, but they're looking in the other direction. Like, da, 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 da. Like, I just happen to be walking this way, but I'm not really intending to walk towards you. That whole thing, cut it out. It's okay. She's supposed to know that you're going for her. It's great. It's good. It's that Tarzan-like, Tarzan go get, right? It's that primal thing that women want to feel about a guy of, oh, I like you. I'm coming to go and talk to you. So look at her when you're walking towards her. Don't make a weird last second J-turn, right? This stuff, it's simple, right? When you hear me saying it, it probably sounds simple, but I'm sure most of you are going to recognize mistakes you're making when you do approach. Most of you are doing this. I'm certain of it because most guys who come to me, 99% of them are doing this stuff. Now, again, when you're walking towards her, so we're still in the second section of actually walking towards her, you want to be smiling if she catches your eyes, right? So if she sees you walking over, it will feel intimidating if you're like, right? Doing the whole Terminator, like walk towards her. That feels intimidating. Because again, you've got to remember in a club, she's probably been sleazed on by a number of guys in the past. it is guys are stronger. Sometimes guys are unpredictable and drunk and kind of wonky, and distrust or safety is an issue in a bar for women, anywhere in a nighttime when alcohol is involved. So smiling when you come over there, again, it disarms the fear factor or the feeling, oh, is this guy going to be safe to talk to me factor, right? There are going to be other ways later in the interaction that you can make clear, hey, I'm not just a friend, sweetheart. There are other ways that you'll do that. But again, remember at the same time, you're being super direct just by the way you're approaching. So throwing in some smiling in there while making you more friendly is really just softening the severity of a super direct, super confident approach, right? It's not making you friend zone. It's making you, oh, this guy's really going for me, but he seems friendly, right? It's that vibe that you're creating. Okay, so that's the second section. Now we're actually getting in front of her to stand and talk to her. So in this moment right now, a couple of things you're going to keep in mind. One, again, eye contact, be looking at her, right? Be smiling. If there's more than one girl that you're approaching, usually it's a group, look from girl to girl, right? Be smiling. You want to be, one thing that I see guys doing, by the way, and I'll use the oranges reference one more time. You don't walk up to oranges and like go up to the oranges. It's a bit hard for me to show in this video, but what guys often do with women is they don't stand in front of the woman so much as they step 1 foot in and 1 foot back as though they could easily retreat, right? It's like, do you want to talk to me? Right? 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It's that kind of, am I allowed to be here? Questioning, as opposed to just walking up, bam, squaring off with your body, squaring off with your feet, holding your ground, and then like, hey, I wanted to come talk to you. It's a subtle way to demonstrate I belong here. You might not want me here, and that would be okay, and I would leave. But I'm entitled to be here and come and talk to you, right? I don't have shame. I'm not trying to hide. I'm not creating a getaway loop in case you don't like me, right? I feel like I belong here. That is subtle, but it's really strong, right? So think about that. The beginning, the middle, and the end. You are smiling. You're being really direct. You're doing it as though you would the oranges, walking straight for them. No J turns. You are squaring off when you get there, right? And you are looking them dead in the eyes. And all this stuff demonstrates oodles of confidence, and you haven't yet said a word. And I notice when guys do this, as long as they do all this and they're smiling, women are generally very friendly. Women respect it when a guy comes up and talks to them like this. But, okay, as promised in the beginning, there is one secret sauce element that I don't know that many other coaches teach, and I do, and man, is it effective, all right? It's this little, I hate the word alpha, it's this little moment of dominance, this little super confident moment in the beginning that is so powerful. So if I walk up to a group of girls, let's say the girls are sitting at a high table in a bar, and I walk up to them, I don't start talking to them until they look at me, right? So I will walk up to them, and I will stand there in their space, and I will look at them. I'll just look from girl to girl. I'll have a sort of slight grin on my face. I'm waiting for them to, because sometimes they'll be in a conversation. I'll just come up there and I'll wait. And I'll stand and I'll wait and I'll look at them with a slight grin on my face. And then eventually they're like, oh, okay, we've got to look at this guy, pay attention to him. They look at me and then I'm like, hey guys, how's your night going? So over here I was with my friends and thought I'd come and say hello, right? Whatever I say, it's that line, by the way, is a default you can use anywhere, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's not the best line in the world, but it works. But my point is not what I say. My point is that moment of just holding space, not feeling like I need to lurch in, or not feeling like I need to sort of tap them on the shoulder and get their attention. Excuse me guys, pay attention to me, right? I just walk in there, I'm like, you'll pay attention to me eventually. I don't say that, but I'm just feeling that. And they do. They always do. And usually that only takes about, like, it can feel like a long time to a guy who's nervous, right? And twitchy, who wants to, like, get it over with. But that moment only usually takes 1, 2, 3 seconds. Right? It almost never takes longer than that. But that's such a powerful moment because it's that entitlement to be there. And it's that I don't need to make you pay attention to me. I will wait and you will pay attention to me. It's that very subtle strength. And when you do that again, you don't have to say a word. It's just in how you behave. It's a very strong position to have when you approach. So guys, I hope you found this video a little bit interesting. I'm sorry that it's taking me so long to do more like functional approach videos. Maybe I'll do some more. Let me know in the comments. If you do want some private instruction with me, definitely get in contact. I do one-on-one Zoom calls, helping a lot of guys around the world. And I've got one place left in my Miami Bootcamp. And if you want to take that, go ahead and get in contact with me. I'll put the link in the comments below. Get in contact with me about that ASAP. As always, guys, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in my future videos.